Hi, welcome back. I am Mrs. Smith, and let's get into line plots today. A line plot is a graph that uses a number line and X's or dots to display the data. In order to make a line plot, we first need data. So I decided to get us some data by keeping track of my hours that I was working on school things in July, doing things like taking college classes, attending virtual learning meetings, making virtual classrooms, making YouTube videos, and other things I usually work on through the summer. I organize the data on this calendar. To make a line plot for that data, the first thing I'm going to do is draw the line. That's going to be my number line. And then I'm going to look at the data to see the range of numbers I'm going to need on that number line. I'm looking for the smallest number and the largest number. It looks like 7 is the smallest and 10.5 is the largest. I know my number line is going to have to go from 7 to 10.5, but I also noticed lots of fractions. I see 1/4 and 1/2 and 3/4. So that tells me I can't just go from 7 to 10.5 with whole numbers or with halves, because that would leave out part of the data. I'm going to have to go by fourths. I'm going to number my number line by 4, starting at 7. And then 7 1/4, 7 1/2, 7 3/4, then 8, and continue on until I get to 10.5. And also I'm going to add a title to the graph first thing so that I don't forget and so that people know what this graph is all about. This title is going to be the hours of working in July. And let's get the calendar back up here so we can take a look at it, and we'll plot our data. Let's go day by day using the calendar and plot our data the way it comes up on the calendar. So we're going to start with July 1st. July 1st, I worked 10 hours. So we'll mark an X over the 10 on our line plot. July 3rd was another 10-hour day. So another X above the 10. July 4th was a 7-hour day. We'll put an X above the 7 on our line plot. July 6th, 7.5. July 9th, 7 3/4. And then we'll continue on marking each day on our line plot. And there we have it, a line plot of all the days I worked on schoolwork in July. But now let's see how well we can interpret that line plot. Looking at the line plot, how many days in July did Mrs. Smith work on schoolwork? Each X represents one day, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 22 days. Mrs. Smith worked on schoolwork 22 days in July. Now let's use the line plot to answer this one. Of the hours shown on this line plot, did Mrs. Smith spend more days working less than 8 hours or more than 8 hours? Well, we can put a line up to show less than 8 hours would be here, and then count them up. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 days were less than 8 hours, and more than 8 hours would be over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The other side only had 9, so on most of these days, she worked more than 8 hours. Mrs. Smith spent more days working more than 8 hours than less than 8 hours. How about this one? Use the line plot to answer this one. What is the highest number of hours in a day that Mrs. Smith spent on schoolwork in July? at the data in the line plot, the most she worked in one day would be 10.5 hours. All right, just one more question to make sure we're reading that line plot correctly. How many days did Mrs. Smith work 9 hours? Looking at the line plot, she worked 9 hours 2 times, 2 days. Phew, all this talk about working sure is making me tired. I think I'll go take a nap.
This just in. School will resume in a few weeks.
Oops, I guess there's no time for a nap. I better get back to work. Good thing you'll be working right along with me. I'll check back with you soon. See you then.